Shit 90 Shows Taught Me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to slay another day? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
Jessica, another one in the books. Another one in the books. Another one in the books. Can you believe it?
You have startled Belle, your dog, who is in the background.
Oh,
When you clapped, you woke her out of the deepest slumber.
Yeah,
And I don't think she appreciated it because she glared.
Well, Belle's like 90% deaf. That's the thing. She is pretty deaf.
She heard the clapping though.
So whenever she gets like, I can't be like Belle, and like she won't listen to me. So I mean, some of it might be selective hearing, but I think that she's like 90% deaf. But when she does something bad, we have to clap because she can hear the clap. So my little song has made her think that she's done something wrong.
No, she's just being a perfect little angel in the background.
No. She's not perfect little angel.
But
she's
yes,
kind of a demon.
Speaking of demons, season 4 of Buffy in the books, baby, and we're here to wrap this season up. We'll probably briefly touch on Angel season 1 too, but mostly we're going to be talking about Buffy. This season, I thought this was really interesting because I was updating our little document that we have that I basically copy paste from the prior season of like, we go through our character breakdowns and all that stuff, right? The characters, I had to change out so many characters this season. You know, I just wasn't. It was very strange. I'm like removing Cordelia and Angel and like adding Anya and Riley and Tara. And it was just like, I feel like obviously when characters go to college, things will change in most teen dramas. But this really did feel like a shift for me. And now I would argue it was for the positive. I think you would argue that as well. I know not for everybody. I think a lot of people have a fondness and nostalgia for the first few seasons, the high school seasons. And we love those too. There's Cordelia and other reasons to love them. But this was just a vibes season. And I was here for it, Sarah. This was fun. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I really had a great time this season. I think that, you know, it's interesting because like, I don't know how many people out there have to watch TV against their free will, you know, like podcasters do. And of course, like, you know, we love what we do, but also sometimes like you lose a certain amount of enjoyability, if that's a word, with TV because you're forced to watch it every week. Like the majority of like my shows that I watch are for podcasting. So sometimes it's really hard to watch week to week. And there was a time in season 3 where I was like, ooh, golly, like I know Jessica, like I was the one that was like really pushing forward Buffy the Vampire Slayer for us to cover, but I'm like having a hard time. And like, not because I think that the show's not good, but because if I was just watching it to watch it, I think like at that time it would have been a different story. Like, I think I would have probably enjoyed it better, but having to watch something twice, sometimes 3 times, and then talk about it for an hour and a half, sometimes it gets really hard. All of this to say is that this season completely changed that around for me. And there's like a billion reasons that we're going to talk about. But one of the reasons, and Jessica and I say this a lot of the times, like my favorite types of shows are in a college setting. And I was really thinking to me, like, why is that? And I think it's because when you go off to college, it's typically the first time in your young adult life where you are free, you are able to really determine who you want to be without, you know, my school. I was going to the same school with the same people since literally kindergarten up until senior year. And I think a lot of people experience that. And you are so determined, or so it is written in stone who you are when you are in the school of a small town like Sunnydale. So I really relate to like Willow in that aspect. But when I got off to college, I was free from home life. where, you know, things were a little tumultuous between family life. My dad was sick, like stuff, you know, typical stuff with my family was hard. But also I got to be free from like all the cage, the sex cage, the library sex cage, that I
I
had.
do miss the library
Me too.
sex cage.
That I was put into, being from a town that is uber small. I graduated with a class of 103 people. And like I said, like I was literally, I couldn't escape that. But college,
Yeah.
I just felt so free. And like, I feel like the first episode, The Freshman of Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 4, I felt that freedom. Like going into like Sunnydale University, new fresh faces, new fresh sets, new fresh everything, new fresh characters. It felt freeing and a breath of fresh air. And once again, like we really got to see our characters come into their own, discover
Yeah.
like who they want to be, especially Willow. And also the extremely relatable truth that sometimes when you graduate high school, for people that had a better high school experience, who am I without that good high school experience? And that
Yeah.
reminds me of Xander's story. So, all in all of this to say is that season 4 really, really, really worked for both of us. And we are well known throughout the season to be like, I think that this is the favorite season. Like, I think that this is it for us. Like, maybe it's not for everybody because it's different strokes for different folks. But for me, I
Yeah.
just like, if I'm thinking like, what season will I want to rewatch? Like, what makes me feel like uplifted and excited and easy breezy? Like it's season 4, and
Yeah.
I think that's really incredible. And even more so, I think it's incredible that our coverage has helped. We've heard multiple people say to us, we helped them look at season 4 in a different light. And I feel like that is the best gift that we could get as a podcaster, for our words to make an impact and not just like go into the ether of nothingness, you know?
Yeah, I know, I totally agree with you. I started rewatching season 4. I didn't finish it. There's a lot of episodes. And we're, you know, in like a week's time to watch. But I did start a rewatch. I got maybe about halfway through, I'd say. And I think one of the reasons that I really liked season 4, and I think you did as well, is because college is kind of that opportunity to reinvent yourself and figure out who you really are away from kind of the burden and the reputation you may have in high school. It gives you an opportunity to kind of reinvent who you are and figure that out. And season 4 had such strong themes. And I'm not saying the other seasons didn't, but I felt those themes more in this season. There was more of a cohesive story in terms of, I mean, we talked about this. You may not like Adam, and I'm not his biggest fan either, but in
Stop
terms
saying
of
such
a
horrible things about my husband. That is so rude. How dare you?
someone clip that, yeah. But you can't argue that like the big bad was present all season, right? Like the initiative was present the entire time. And I felt like in past seasons, one of our gripes was that like it was very much like, okay, we're either getting a monster of the week or we're focusing on the main story. And I felt like the season was able to kind of weave those things together in a really satisfying way. On top of that, this season didn't take itself super seriously, which I really enjoyed because I want to fuck around. I want to do dumb shit. I love when shows experiment, like episodes like Hush, right? Episodes like Restless, when they're really just going for something and they don't particularly even and don't hate me, people, but even Where the Wild Things Are. Like, I just like when shows experiment and try new things and they're not afraid to like get a little messy. I think shows are way more satisfying in that way. And so while I understand people's critiques, specifically if you don't like Riley, I can understand the season not working for you at all because he's an integral part of the season. And so I get it. If he's not your cup of tea, I could see how you wouldn't be a huge fan of the season. And there are certain characters that I feel like lack some growth, which we'll talk about in our little character breakdown. But overall, in my rewatch, I was just like, yeah, I'm still enjoying this. Like, I'm still enjoying what's going on. I think it's fun. I think it's really interesting to get to see Buffy adapt to college life and struggle with it a bit. Willow goes through immense changes. Like, we start the freaking season, she's still with us. Like, that is totally different from where we end up. And Anya and Xander aren't dating in the very first episode. Like, we go a lot of places this season, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think it's setting us up for another really great season. I feel like we laid some groundwork in this season that will also pay off in future seasons. So I've really enjoyed myself and this season. But let's start talking through some of our characters, because we already kind of alluded to some of their stories here. Buffy, obviously she struggles at first with adapting to college, you know, like she is used to being, she knows her role. She's a Slayer. She has Giles in the library. She has all the Scoobies, but life is a little different now in college. She doesn't quite, you know, she's learning the lay of the land. Willow seems to be adapting very quickly, unlike Buffy. She's kind of taken her time in terms of signing up for classes. Xander isn't there. Cordy isn't there. Giles isn't there. He's still in his apartment, but he's not working at the university. So I think a lot of her struggles, along with her crazy roommate, Kathy, who I adored even more on a rewatch. Truly, I thought it was such a fun episode.
It was a fun episode. It really was, because it was so unhinged, and I love you and I went through it, and we were like, man, you know, like Kathy might have had a point right here. Like maybe like, yeah, she's like a demon that's like really disgusting, but like maybe like she had a point. And then of course it's the fact that like she was sucking the life out of Buffy, so Buffy was starting to act even more irrational.
That was like the glaring from her, the like dropping of the ketchup on the sweater. Like it's all very the like, oh yeah, it is shared time, and her like guzzling Kathy's milk. Like it's all so funny. And again, if you've had a terrible roommate, probably pretty relatable, right? Like there's some really great content in the beginning of this season. And
I ever tell you about the time that my ex roommate stole my hair dryer? I'm still mad about that.
What brand was it?
I don't remember, but she took it. She moved out and took it. That was my hair dryer.
Wow. And
I know.
You've never forgiven her to this day.
No, but I did forget about it until the second. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Buffy really struggles to adapt in the beginning. And not only that, but you know what I didn't miss about the beginning of season 4? Was how much time we spent on Parker.
Oh, I know, but also I just get that sometimes you just have like an infatuation with somebody, and when Buffy's never been in a situation where she had a quick fling with somebody, and that's all he wanted from her was sex. And
he's a douchebag.
I've never been in that situation, only because like I'm such like a relationship girl, but that must be like such a bad slap in the face to experience a ghosting like that for the first time. So I really understand like how down bad she was about Parker, even if it was annoying. I just, once again, I find it very relatable, not to myself, but just like to the dating experience of human beings, especially in 2025, where it's so easy to just ghost somebody in an instant. You know, you have sex with somebody, you leave, and then you block them from Tinder and you block them from your phone. That's the equivalent, right? Except the only thing is
he just never calls, and then he's in her face hitting on other girls.
Exactly. So like I understand like you really hate those Parker episodes, but I also think that they were interesting. And also like it was kind of like a fake out. Like we meet Riley the very first episode. We like don't really see him that much. He's hanging out with Willow more. And we're like, oh, like Parker's the new love interest. But no, it's kind of like a fake out, which I think is like really cool too.
He's temporary, which is what got me by on the rewatch, is knowing that this storyline doesn't last for a very long time. It's just at the beginning. And then we start the Riley romance, which is like a huge part of Buffy's story this season, is not only the fact that she really likes Riley, but then once they find out each other's secrets of she's the Slayer and he's in the initiative, kind of coming to terms with that in their relationship. And then obviously Adam and Faith and all these other big things. But like, it feels like, and we talked a lot about this in Restless, it feels like Buffy is yet again coming to terms with the fact that she's a different Slayer than Slayers of the past because she has the Scoobies, because she has a squad. And I was reminded of this yet again in the episode Fear Itself, when they go to that like haunted house thing, and she tries to tell Willow like, okay, you guys stay behind, I'm gonna go do this, and Willow gets upset. And this has happened time and time again, where Buffy wants to go do something on her own. She doesn't want to put her friends in danger. And Willow says, you're not the boss. Like, just because you're the Slayer doesn't mean that you get to be the one giving out orders.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that is, again, like really, I'm not a huge fan of that episode. It's like Fear Itself, but I think we do get to see that theming throughout the whole season yet again, of Buffy on her own versus Buffy with a squad, and how much stronger she is with the Scoobies.
Yeah. And it also is, it reinforces how change, like going to university, can separate you and your friends, your high school friends. Like it's really like a pivotal point in a lot of friendships, because I think, like, I don't know the statistics on this. I'm like really interested in knowing this. I'm like, I think it's interesting how, like, how many people in this world are closer friends with their college friends than their high school friends, and how many people stop
Oh, it has to be
hanging out.
high.
How many people stop hanging out with their high school friends?
Because high
once
school is about
college comes around?
proximity, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
all based on
yeah.
where you live versus, and the pool of friends is much wider and larger in college. And you're usually, again, I can't speak from experience, but I would assume you are meeting friends based on interest more so than by proximity, right? You're joining a club, you're a sport, whatever, right? Like, you're meeting people, and maybe roommates too. Like, certainly that's of course possible, but I think you're more likely to meet people that you have things in common with in college than you are high school.
I think, like, statistically, I think that probably is the case. Like, I would love to see those numbers on it eventually. Funnily enough, like, I did make good friends in college, but I'm closer friends with my high school friends. So I don't know, like, obviously it's different for different people, but seeing that crater of divide happen amongst the Scoobies, specifically like Xander, Buffy, and Willow, because Xander's not going to school. Buffy's like really focused on being a Slayer. She's really focused on Riley, and Willow's really focused on her new relationship with Tara, her new relationship with like becoming a witch. So like their interests are dividing. They're like they're the things that they have in common are becoming more and more different. And once again, talking about like how relatable this is, it's well done. So I think like that was an interesting theme throughout that started in the very beginning. Just like how disconnected Buffy and Willow were with each other throughout the season, because I mean, it started in the very first few episodes where Buffy like really wasn't adjusting well to school, and Willow really was and wanted to go out and party and had like all these like an easier time making friends. Of course, she had Oz, who already had people there, so she was like better integrated. And I'm thinking to the episode where it was the first episode where the the vampires, like the teen vampires, the young vampires, like stole her and her stuff, and was basically like, I'm moving away, like I can't handle this anymore. And like how it took Willow like a minute to realize that, like, she was going through something, but she did realize that like, oh, I don't think this is Buffy.
It was just there was definitely more of a divide between the two of them than there has been, or we're just like expanding on that divide, especially when Buffy and Riley really start dating. Willow misses hanging out with Buffy, and they become roommates, and it feels like they hang out even less, after they become roommates. Like, they're both preoccupied. Like you said, Willow is preoccupied with her new relationship, and also the fact that she hasn't really told Buffy about Tara. So like that, of course, is going to further tear them a little bit apart.
But there's like building resentment with everybody as well.
Yes, that like explodes in the Yoko factor, and we get to see them come back together in Primeval. And that's what I think is like so wonderful is yes, they all get separated for different reasons, and there's just like this growing divide that kind of gets worse and worse and worse throughout the season, but we do get to see them come back together, and we are shown that they are stronger together than they are apart. And that is like such an important theme for not just this season, but for every season before it. I think like this show has been really good about building on what they've already, like the foundations they've already laid. And that was just one of the big ones. I think that like we're probably going to get hit over the head with, you know, for the end of time, truly all the way through season 7, I'm sure, is like Buffy realizing she's not on her own. She should lean on the people around her. I'm sure we're going to get hit over the head with it a million more times.
Well, that was the thing. Like, how many more times does Buffy have to learn that lesson?
I think it's going to happen again. Like, I don't think it's ever going to stop happening, because I think when you love your friends and your chosen family, you're afraid that they're going to get hurt and you don't want to be the cause of that. And she sees her being the Slayer as like a reason that someone could get hurt. I think we're going to just keep seeing it. I think maybe she, you know, as her friends also get more formidable, right? Like Willow improves on her witch skills. Xander does something, you know, like I just think like they're going to be more formidable, and she'll be less like apt to say, no, you should stay behind. But I do think that's always going to be her gut reaction.
Yeah. When did Harry Potter learn this lesson? Because it was the same exact thing with him.
He was so annoying about it.
He was not annoying.
Yes,
I'm such like a Harry Potter like character girl. Like I like defend him till the end of the earth.
So annoying.
He's not annoying. I think that, I mean, he learned that lesson in 7. Like he invited them to go like camping.
Yeah, 7 books it took him.
Okay. Nonetheless, like eventually he learns.
So probably 7 seasons for Buffy too.
Yeah. So maybe.
But yeah, I do like the theming of all of that. And speaking of Willow, did you want to move on to talking about her a little bit? Because she has just a massive season. Like I said, when I started rewatching it, I was like, oh my God, that's right. She's like starts the season with Oz. Like it is so different. She goes through such a change this season, not only having her relationship with Oz kind of fall apart, he just full up leaves, and she is so depressed. She is just totally out of sorts, trying to figure her own stuff out. She's trying to pursue the witchy stuff, which I had almost not forgotten, but it really didn't trigger in my mind that like in the beginning of the season when she's talking about trying new witch things, both Buffy and Oz are like, are you sure? Like, that sounds dangerous. Like, are you sure? And now she's with a partner in Tara, who is also a fellow witch, who is also like helping her be a better witch. Like, it is just such an interesting story arc for Willow this season. And I was really impressed. I feel like she's finding her voice more and more. And like the fact that she's willing to stand up to Buffy and willing to say, like, you're not in charge, like, you have to let us help you. She stands up to Buffy in the Yoko factor, right? Like, they have this huge fight, this huge argument. I was really impressed with Willow this season, not just for coming out and like the new relationship with Tara. I feel like her witchiness has found like a new level, even though we still haven't figured out the Rat Amy problem. I really enjoyed Willow this season.
I did too. I really did. I think that I think kind of reflecting what I was talking about before of like she really realized that she could reinvent herself and be who she really wants to be without the reputation or the stink of who she perceived herself in high school. Now, there's a whole discussion about like, you know, how much of it is like how others perceived you versus how she perceived herself. So that could be like a whole different thing. But I do think that there's like a factor of both. So I really love that she was able to come into her own. Like she was no longer like dorky loser Willow that like couldn't make friends, like couldn't get the guy. Like she was like herself. And then once again, which is like so common for freshman year of breaking up with your high school boyfriend. This is
Yeah.
another thing that is so common of like, you have a high school boyfriend, you're with them for, in her case, it was mainly senior year, junior year, senior year. There's people that have been together for all 4 years of high school. And then by the time like freshman year is over, there's a breakup because of like, just once again, like you're changing, distance, whatever, cheating because there's other opportunities around.
Yeah.
So I think that this was another thing that was brought up this season that I feel like is so common of a person's experience at their first year of university. But to see her, it's so like, I remember my best friend broke up with her high school boyfriend like within the first semester of university, and like it broke my heart to see her so sad, like that she, and you want to, you know, at that time you're like, oh my gosh, like they one class couple. I thought that they were going to be together forever. Like this is terrible. But then like also you're thinking like, wow, now you have like the entire school, you have like everything at your fingertips, because it's like, I mean, like
Yeah.
I was in a relationship my throughout college. I wish I was like, yo, 18-year-old Sarah, go off, go forth and fuck. Like go
Yeah.
go everywhere. Like do anything. And you know, not everybody's like that, but I really like the fact that Willow, you know, was able to just so come into her own. She found her own style. Like she found her own groove. She found a friend in Tara that was like uniquely her own person, her own friend with common interests. She developed her witchiness skills. She seemingly is doing pretty good in school. I don't know. We don't really get to see them like talk about class, especially in the back end of the season that much. But, you know, like it seems like she was doing really well. And then the biggest thing is that she's has discovered another part of her sexuality and dealing with that, which I feel once again is such a common university experience.
Yeah.
Which I think that like once again, like you are thrown into this like new pool of people and you like discover who you really are. I think it's like a really great time to discover the ins and outs of like who you are as a person. Or as like a younger person, because I think that like you're throughout your entire 20s you're evolving constantly.
Yeah.
But I really do like a lot from Willow. I think that in the finale episode where we see her and what she's afraid of, going back to like the same like dorky version of herself with
Yes.
overalls, long hair, I think it just hammers down like how happy she is with the person she is today.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how like that almost feels like it could all just like slip out of her fingers in an instant.
Yes. That's her biggest nightmare, is just
Yeah.
having to go back to who she was before. And not that it was a bad person to be, but it feels like you'd be taking a step backwards of
Well,
like,
she thinks like, especially because like there's times where she's like, well, you know, like she felt like she was weaker. She felt like she was less than. I think like
sure. I
Yeah.
just think it's also an aspect of, I don't want to be the person that the high school kids thought I was, you know,
Yeah.
like now I'm fully realized, or, you know, on her way. She's still first year college. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think she's grown a lot, but there is still so much more to do before you're like a full blown adult. And we're all still, anyway, I love this for Willow. I think Restless was such a good examination and like showing of how scary it can be to like find kind of who you are and start to feel comfortable with who you are, and then be terrified that it can all slip away. Like, just so scared because she has not more to lose, but maybe even more to lose, right? Like, she has Tara, who she's like so comfortable being with. Not that she wasn't comfortable with Oz, but I feel like her and Tara just have like so much in common. And I think that they're both in just like a comfortable space with one another, that I think and obviously she still has the hurdle of like, she's not out to her family. Like she's only out to really her close friends, right? Like there are still obstacles for her to face. But yeah, she had such an impressive season. I think every season I love Willow more. She always kind of like impresses me with, and obviously she does have some faults. Like she makes mistakes. Every character does.
She's a shitty ass witch is the fact of the matter.
The problem is she always seeks out magic as a shortcut. And she does it again this season with everything happens with Veruca and Oz. And she doesn't end up going through with it, right? Like she drops the beaker or whatever the hell, and then she gets interrupted by Veruca. But she does tend to lean on magic when she wants to make a shortcut in maybe an emotional shortcut. Like, I just don't want to even deal with this. I'm just going to do magic and get rid of it. I'm really interested to see how that will change going forward, especially Sarah, because the better witch she becomes and the stronger magic she can do, the more dangerous it is for her to then revert to something like that. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see where that goes. And obviously her and Tara and that relationship and what Tara's hiding. I do feel like Tara is like a really important character. I feel like Restless confirmed that for me, that like there is something going on that she is like tapped into in a way that like other side characters, other love interests aren't, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
really love her. Should we talk about Xander?
Baby boy.
Baby boy.
Baby boy. Yeah, you know, such an interesting season for Xander as well, because like I don't necessarily know if he got that same growth as Willow did. I mean, in fact, like I know that he doesn't, but I know that he was trying. You know what I mean? I know that I find it fascinating, and it's like such like a gimmick as well, how many jobs he had throughout the season, how he was just trying. And it's really hard because like when you're the lone friend that's not going to school, or in any aspect of life, if you're like the friend that like is the single one when all your friends are married, or like, you know, just like when you're in a different place of life as your friends, it is a very uncomfortable situation. You feel like a loser, you feel like you're behind, you feel like you're constantly comparing yourself to your peers. It is so depressing and so hard. And seeing Xander keep like trucking along throughout the season, keep trying to find his groove, trying to find his purpose, trying to find like what he's good at, I find it like really, really, really interesting. I think, of course, Anya gives him that like really big bump, but the girls that he dates always gives him the really big bump. Like he got the bump when he was dating Cordy. He gets the bump when he's dating Anya. But I think that, and I think like you will have more to say about this because I've come around to Xander sooner than you. I think that like he's not the funniest. I mean, like if we want to talk about who's the funniest in the lot, but I definitely think that like he provides like a lightness and I suppose the heart. Everybody keeps like honing in that he's the heart of the group. He's the heart of the group. I think it like, if we're comparing it once again to Harry Potter, I think that he's like the Ron. Like Ron had like no fucking talents at all. He was a bitch ass loser, but he was, but he kept it light. He kept it fun. He was kind of the heart, I guess. Like, is he not the Ron Weasley of
No,
this
he
group?
is. If we're making like Willow's the Hermione, Buffy is Harry, and Ron is Xander. Like it's very easy to make those connections. But yeah, to your point, this is the most I've ever liked Xander. Like, and it really feels like a full ass transformation. For a few reasons. One, he's no longer obsessed with Buffy in like a very uncomfortable way. There's like the very couple of jokes. There's only a few. There are very few jokes that Xander makes about like, oh, wanting to see Buffy naked or something like that. Like there's only a few this season. And beyond that, I really felt like he matured a lot between seasons 3 and 4. I don't know if it was the fact that he tried to go on this like failed travel thing and then he had to kind of figure out his own shit on the fly, but always like so impressed that he kept persevering and trying new jobs and didn't just like shrug his shoulders and say, well, I live in my parents' basement, so who really cares? Like, no, he actively was trying. Even if he did have the odd job, he's still working. He's still trying to do something. He's always there to help with Buffy and Willow. And Anya only gave him more of a boost. I thought their relationship was absolutely fantastic. Like, to have him be the one saying, should we have sex? Like questioning it rather than just like having sex because she's throwing it at him. You know what I mean? Like she walks into the freaking doorway purse first. Like she's ready to go. She just drops her dress at the moment she gets alone with him in the basement. Like he is, and then he proves like just how much he cares about her. It is so sweet. It's so heartwarming. I love their relationship. I think they're great together. And I really enjoyed Xander this season. I feel like he's no longer making these like disgusting jokes. He isn't obsessed with Buffy. He has a steady girlfriend. I wouldn't care if he didn't have a girlfriend, but the fact that it's Anya makes it that much better. Like he really came into his own this season. I was so impressed with Xander. The one thing I will say is like, because we spent so much time on Riley and his narrative and his growth arc, I do feel like we lacked a little bit in terms of we kind of started where we began. Like Xander doesn't seem to have a career path, which is fine. Again, it takes people time. I guess he had the growth of the relationship with Anya, so that's something. He still is left at the end of Restless worried that he's being left behind by his friends.
Yeah.
So I wish we had gotten a Xander family episode, like explaining some of that.
I think it's coming. Like
I hope so.
I really do. And I think that like I mean, in terms of like parents and like how we've met parents, like we've only met Willow's mom and we've only had nuggets of Xander's family life. Specifically, we met his dad. And I really find it I really think that we're going to get it next season. And I can see next season being like Xander's growth season of like kind of establishing himself, seeing where he's going to go, but like learning more about what makes Xander Xander. And I really hope, and I'm like really looking forward to it too, because I said in Restless, like the dad at the top of the stairs screaming at Xander, it was bone chilling. And if this is just like a piece of what Xander has grown up with, like I think that it very much, I think like it makes sense about who Xander is and like why he acts the way he has or does. I think it explains a lot about why he's like the court gesture in a way. Like I think that oftentimes like, you know, he's trying to not take up a lot of space in his family because he just gets like annihilated. So like a good way to like keep it light is to make your family laugh. And like you use that as like a defense mechanism in a way. Like you act, like I said, like the court gesture. Jester. Whoa. Gesture. Sorry. So I'm really hoping that we get to learn more about that because I just find it like really interesting. I find like family dynamics really interesting. It makes me think a lot about Pacey from Dawson's Creek and his family life and how volatile his home life was, how uncomfortable. I mean, it very much like feels like that. And some of like the most like biggest moments with like Pacey's family, it like always stick out to me of his father who is a drunk on the beach, like and like them having the moment, his mother played by Jane Lynch like being like awful to him. I think that like it changed my opinion of Pacey, who is also kind of like the jester in a way. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really hopeful. His relationship with the Scoobies, you know, like I think that like another thing that made us like him more was that he was now the underdog. Like he felt like he was on a different pedestal as his friends, and it made him feel like less than, but it also like humbles him a little, which I think like we like. I mean, for me, I really don't like men that are like really like dickish in a way, like, you know, full of themselves. So I think that like him kind of being humbled a little bit helps me enjoy him more. And then of course the fact like the gross remark. I mean, he still has like gross remarks, but then once again, it's just like
They're less common.
they're less.
Now, at
And
least.
also, once again, which is what I've been saying for a few seasons, he's a teen boy. Like, what teen boy isn't thinking about sex constantly? So, yeah, I really like him. And then once again, like he was trying and he got a whole lot of jobs. Unlike our next person who fucking has done absolutely pretty much nothing all season. Giles, you are on my shit list. You are you need to get a job, my friend. You need to get a job. You need to do something.
Giles was fun employed all season long, and this is the biggest character I would point to in terms of I feel like we lost out by focusing so much on Riley, is that we really got nothing from Giles. Like, honestly, my biggest pro for Giles was the fact that we got to see him sing a number of times. Like, that's
I like that.
fun. It's impressive. It was like incredible to watch. He did have a relationship kind of, but not one we really knew a ton about. And then obviously there is his struggle with needing to be needed, and the fact that he no longer is like an integral like close member of the Scoobies, right? Like, they're coming to his apartment. He is not in the library. He is not available on a moment's notice. And I think, and he's not a watcher anymore, like as a job, right? Like, he is no longer with that company, that whatever, which is probably a good thing. But I think that was a huge part of his identity. That was we've always joked that he trained as a child to like be a freaking watcher, and he no longer has that as part of his identity. And that really does hurt him and cause him to struggle this season. I just wish, even if he's going to struggle all season, that's fine, but give us some more of that. Like, give us some like lone Giles scenes. I think the bright spots for me with Giles this season were obviously the singing. Him getting to sing and us getting to see it so many times was really, really fun. And his relationship with Spike, them being like the weird roommates for a while, was really, really entertaining. And that is like the one thing propping Giles up this season for me, because otherwise I can't really point to like a ton, because he didn't get a ton. He's there, he's helping, but he's not getting a ton. And drunk Giles is also just such a vibe. It's so funny.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that when there's so many characters that are so much fun, so likable, you know, are very funny, it's like they are having a hard time finding his place, which I feel like he feels that as a character as well. Like, what is my place? I think it's like really interesting. Identity is probably like a questioning his identity, because like he grew up trying to be a watcher, but then while he was in the university, he was like, I want to rebel against that. I want to be Ripper. I want to do dark magic. I want to be a badass. I want to like play music. I want to wear a leather jacket. And then eventually his like relationship, his friendship with like Ethan made him realize that like, ooh, this is like not what I want. And then he goes back to being a watcher. And then once he gets fired as a watcher, he's no longer a watcher, which was his identity. He is no longer the Ripper, which was his identity. So then it's just like, who am I? What do I do? What is my purpose? And I'm really, really, really interested in him being at this crossroads of, you know, do I want a career? Do I want to be a watcher? Do I want to do this? Or do I want to explore what I never had, which was a stable family life? I don't know how like a love. Like, I've never, like, he's not in a relationship. He doesn't have children. He sees Buffy as a child, but then Buffy's doing her own thing. Buffy is like a full ass adult. Like, he doesn't have his own family. So then he's at a crossroads of like, what do I want? And I think like, once again, as a person that's in their 30s, that's single, or he might be in his 40s, who the fuck knows? But like, like you're kind of like, okay, well, I focused on career so much, but then do I have like a family life to show for it? Once again,
Mhm.
extremely relatable. And I think like the hardest thing is that none of this was articulated to us. It was shown in bits and pieces throughout, and we're like
Mhm.
creating our own narrative essentially. I mean, like they've shown some of it,
We
but
get the one Giles episode where he turns into the demon, and that's like it's mostly played for laughs, but I do think there is something in like this disconnect, right?
yeah.
And there is a little bit of Ripper content with Ethan, and that's really fun, but I would have appreciated more depth in terms of what he's going through. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of it was surface level.
And I do agree. Like, I think, like, with all these side characters, like a Riley getting a lot of attention, like a Willow plus um Tara
Mhm.
and like an Anya plus Xander and a Spike who actually does take up a lot of screen time, like because he's awesome and fun.
Mhm.
But I think like they just didn't have time to really develop Giles this season. And like maybe that's okay, but that doesn't like bode well in terms of like when we're ranking characters in a TV show when everybody is great.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, hopefully more from Giles, more I don't know, just more deep stuff with Giles
Mhm.
next season. I would love to get him more integrated into like the university somehow. I think there's a lot I don't have that in my predictions, but I do think there's a way to do that
Yeah.
works well for the
Yeah.
show.
I'm just surprised it didn't happen this season because like I felt
Yeah.
like it was so natural for him to just get a job at the university. Like, why not? But it has,
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to get a job. Like, he can't be fun employed forever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So maybe hopefully next season. But let's talk about a character who doesn't stick around long this season. I did want to include him because he is an important character in Oz. Oz goes through a really interesting transformation, right? Like he starts off on the college campus, him and Willow are still dating. He's still doing the like lock myself up for 3 days a month because of his werewolfy stuff. But he meets Veruca. They have like an instant kind of pheromone sort of a connection, and he cheats on Willow. And not only that, but she is a totally different type of werewolf. She doesn't cage herself up when she turns, right? She just is wild and unhinged, and she says to him it's unnatural. And basically what he does by cheating on Willow and really like he needs to have a heart to heart with himself about being a werewolf.
Yeah. 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 Goose agrees. So I think that, um, as much as I get on Oz's case, I think that the the gift that he gave to Willow is very beautiful, very sweet of I love you for you. I love you for all of your weirdness. I love you for who you are. And the same she gave the same gift to him. I love you no matter if you're a quote unquote monster. Like I love you the way you are. I think that like it is such a beautiful first love for them to have. And I hate that it is, like, muddled with, like, a cheating scandal for both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
tarnished a little bit as a
yeah, like, I
result.
feel like
Yeah.
it could have been, like, a really lovely, beautiful first love story if they both didn't cheat on each other. I think that, like, something like this could happen to fade apart naturally, but all of that to say is that, like, I do appreciate the character of Oz for what he gave to Willow for being like a girl. Like I like found myself to be like, like a loser or a weirdo or a black sheep, and I was like, like you just want to be accepted, you just want to be loved for who you are. And for Willow to get that is just like really lovely. Aside from all of that, like catch me like you'll never find me caring about like an Oz storyline. Like I don't really care about werewolves. I don't really care about Oz's like personality. I don't really care about what Oz does or who he sees. or I find the Willow and the Tara relationship a lot more exciting, but also I don't know, like I just find it, I've said this like a billion times. I like am so fine with being like alone on an island with this that like I don't really enjoy Oz as a character, but um once we get into Riley, like you can say the same thing to me. Like I love that there's different strokes for different folks. Like I
Yeah.
really, really, really do. And if the majority of people love Oz and love his personality and like love him as a character, like all power to you. But he's like too monotone and too boring for me. But
I think
everybody says Riley's boring. So like I don't know. Like maybe I'm
Yeah.
just like, crazy. I don't know, probably.
I like that Oz also kind of represents this like reckoning with who you are. And like, obviously, it's to the extreme of him being a werewolf and turning into a monster and hurting people. But like, if we want to equate that with like turning into a monster and hurting people emotionally or something, like you can easily see that connection there. And him saying, I need to go figure myself out to better be able to like, if I can't be a boyfriend to you in the way that I am right now, I need to figure myself out. And then him
Yeah.
realizing, like coming back and realizing like, I thought I had a handle on this, but it turns out I don't. And like finding out that you're with someone else was like pushed me over the edge and he needs to leave again. Again, if for nothing else, for the Willow growth arc, like Oz plays an integral role in that. And I really enjoyed, even though we only got a small bit of him, for me it was like perfectly enough to kind of set Willow off on this trajectory and like have their breakup kind of be the catalyst that she needs to really find herself. And then for her to have the strength to be like, no, sorry, like we can't be together. And have that be what like it really like confirms for her, like I want to be with Tara's the person for me. Yeah, I really liked what we did get from Oz. Like it's not a ton, but again, it really like sets Willow up for success for this season.
I think I would like it a lot more if the Veruca stuff didn't come to play.
Veruca sucks ass so much, and I did rewatch that episode, and I still hated Veruca. I understood, but it still sucked to watch it.
I think
so,
that
yeah.
I would have been more into it if how like last season I was speculating like, oh, he's not going to be able to let go of this, blah, blah, blah. I think I'm more interested in that storyline. The cheating from, sorry.
Yeah. I was like,
one of those
what?
Things, oh, I'm so sorry. I did one of those things where like I talk in a sentence that like only makes sense in my brain because I'm like talking like halfway through a complete thought.
You came through
which I do a lot. And like Jessica being one of my best friends is like very good at typically interpreting it. But then again, like people listening,
we are doing a
podcast. So like, what are you saying?
Yeah. We thought that was going to be his thing. His hang up is like the cheating thing, but then he turns around and does it, and it is
cheap. It makes it cheap. I don't like it.
It does suck. Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. I think that like I'm so glad that he was in this show. I think that he played an integral part in all of it, but I just would not want that man as my boyfriend. And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. But do we want to talk about the other relationship Willow has this season in Tara, who I think is one of the more mysterious characters on the show in terms of how little we know about her, right? Like vibes wise, she's soft spoken, she's a really good witch, like she really cares about Willow. She seems like she has decent morals,
good
possibly.
instincts, good instincts. Yeah.
But there's this hanging thread of like, why did she throw the dust under the rug? I need to know. And how is she so important to appear not just in Willow's dream and Restless? She just shows up in everyone's dreams, and she feels like she's playing a really, really important, like the mouthpiece for the first Slayer. That doesn't seem like an accident to me. So I don't know. Like, I'm really interested. I wish we got a little more from Tara. However, I'm happy that we focused so much on Willow, and like how her relationship with Tara spoke about Willow as a character, that I'm willing to be like, it's okay, we have time to like, but like again, if we were going to focus so much on Riley, we could have given Tara a little bit more, like a skosh more.
Tara's
content.
on the opening credits, ma'am.
I don't care about the opening credits.
Will Tara be in the opening credits next season? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
I think she gets bumped up. Yeah, maybe. I think so.
Yeah, I think that she's such an interesting character. Like, I really think that she's different from everybody else, which is great, like really unique. I think that obviously I love anything witchy, so that really excites me. I think that you hit all the good points. She's a mystery. There's definitely something that she's hiding, either intentionally or unintentionally. I mean, I still don't think it's going to be malicious, but I feel like she thinks it's bad. Like, she thinks it's really, really bad, and then it's not that bad. Or she thinks that I don't know, like she thinks that she is the spell was something about demons, like uncovering demons.
It showed the location of a demon, whereas I had the like maybe she's like half demon and like it would show her or
right.
something.
So we need like the 23andMe. We need the 23andMe, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something like that. Like she's half demon or a quarter demon, and she's like really embarrassed, or like really she feels a lot of shame. Like, she feels like a character that like is very sensitive to this realm and others, and is really sensitive to just everything. So I think that like she probably holds a lot of shame about herself and how she is in the world. I don't know, maybe she's like a witch from the Salem witch trials and she's been alive for hundreds of years and she has like a lot of shame about that. Like, I don't know, like there's something, but I really cannot imagine a world where we are looking at the end of season 5 and we're like, oh, Tara was like really evil. She was like a really bad.
No, I don't think so. I think it's like not like a misunderstanding, but something that it can be explained away, like why she was being so secretive.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested in getting to know Tara more. And another character I hope is in the opening credits next season, because by God, do we need more Anya? Oh my God, I love her.
She's such a star.
Her and Spike gave me the most comedic relief this season. They did such a good job. I was devastated to lose Cordy from the show, and I feel like those two made it bearable that she was gone.
I missed Cordy a lot less than I thought I was going to, and I think the main reason is that Anya's humor works. I mean, okay, so like we know that like Spike is like kind of the replacement of Cordelia with being the person, like the observational humor.
Yeah.
But I find Anya's humor to just be incredible. Like, I love the way that she says every single thing. Anything that comes out of her mouth, I'm cackling at. I think that she's a great character, really interesting. I think that she also adds to the commentary of the show. She's like saying things that the audience might be thinking, or like she's like the type of person that is like, ooh, Anya, you really shouldn't say that, but also it's kind of true, but also like you really should not say that. And Spike does that as well, but like I just like, once again, like just the way that she says her lines is just like every single time she's on the screen, I'm like glued to her. I love her. I really love everything about her. I think that she's so interesting. I think that her past is so interesting. I think the fact that like she has been alive for hundreds of years, and for whatever reason, she finds Xander the most remarkable man that's ever existed.
Watch him dig. Look at him.
It's so funny. It's so funny. And it's like also funny because it's just like, once again, Xander is supposed to be like Joss Whedon in teenage form, and it's like, of course he's gonna be like, yeah, like the girl is like that has been alive for hundreds of years is like going to be obsessed with me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's
Yeah.
like that's the dream. Like he's like the anomaly, like he's the one and only. But like the way that she talks about Xander, like the episode where they were locked in, oh, I think it was where the wild things are, where she like dresses up as like the bunny and she was
Oh,
just
it's
like,
not
oh,
that's the
am I
Halloween one. That's
okay,
the
I'm
Fear
sorry.
Itself one.
We
Yeah, yeah,
were
yeah.
locked in the fraternity house a lot.
It was a lot of fraternity
Um,
stuff. Yeah.
and it was just like, oh, like I'm here to save Xander. Like you have to save Xander. Like, are you going to save Xander? And it's like so focused, but
Mhm.
I really like she's never mean. Like she's just not mean. She's just like focused on Xander and that's it. She doesn't care about anything else but Xander. Like she's not mean to Buffy
She's like
or
quippy.
Willow. Yeah. Um but like it's just so funny and like I like that. I mean, at least Buffy I feel like integrates her as much as she integrates anybody. Willow, I was like, you're being so rude to her. Like, stop being so rude to her, to Anya. But yeah, great character, phenomenal. Love every single scene that she's in. She really makes me laugh. Like, um, I really enjoy her. I really think that she's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, she's so quippy. I hope that she gets integrated into the Scoobies a bit more next season. Like I said, hopefully she's a main character. We see her in those opening credits. She gets more to do. I love Anya. I just think she's so funny, and if that's what she's bringing to the table, I'm here for it every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Riley. Sarah, I'm gonna let you start with Riley because you love Riley, so I
I
would
love
love for you to
him.
sing his praises.
Yeah. So I think like for me, it's the fact that I I love the fact that Buffy has found somebody that is an equal in so many ways, but not in the exact way. And so, like, what I mean by that is that, like, I think that Riley rivals her in intelligence. Like, I think that he could, he's not stronger than her, but he can fight her on a good day. Like, I think that they were working towards like the same common goal of like killing demons and killing evil. But once again, like they're not like the same. They don't do the same exact thing. They're not like both slayers. They're not like competing against one another. And I think that like I have found him extremely endearing like ever since the beginning. And it's like I'm trying to be like, yeah, like why would I rather be into somebody like Riley than somebody like Oz? And I think like I think it's just like a softness in a way of like I think that I really am attracted to the fact that he is a leader, but he's not like a leader that like Forrest was a leader. Like, you know what I mean? Of like he seemed like a leader that like people want to look up to because they trust you. And I think like he just is just like a good guy. Like he just seemed like a good guy. And I think that like her relationship with Riley is healthy. And I just want everybody to be in like healthy, non toxic relationships. I understand it's boring. I understand it's not interesting. It's not spicy. I understand that Riley loves missionary and he probably loves a little cuddle after sex. I totally get that. And I understand if that's not like exciting and it's not like earth-shattering passion and chemistry, which is like a whole other debate of like, do you think that Buffy and Riley have chemistry? Of course I do. I just think it's a different type of chemistry than a Spike and a Buffy has. But I think like having somebody like Riley who is so stable and safe and kind is really healing for a person like Buffy who has never had a man figure in her life stay. We are talking about her father. We are talking about Angel. We are talking about Parker. She's never had a man who she can feel safe with and feel like she could trust. And to find that in a relationship is invaluable. And I mean, I just like him. I like his vibe. I would feel safe with him. He is so vanilla bread, white bread. He's so vanilla ice cream, white bread. I get it. I do. I really do. But he works for me. And I feel as though he would take Buffy in his arms, kiss her on the top of her forehead, and make sweet, sweet love to her. And that's what she needs. And that's my thing about Riley. That's it. That's what I have to say.
Yeah. I don't hate Riley. I don't think I loathe him like some people do. I've said a million times, and we don't need to talk this to the end of the earth because I have the same things to say. Whereas I just feel like he's kind of bland. I feel like he's kind of bland, and I wish we didn't spend so much of the season on him as a character because I didn't particularly enjoy him. So I think my problem was like, oh, now Buffy's obsessed with Riley. Okay, great. And then he's like, he's a military guy. Okay, whatever. But then he's the one who's getting all of these like stories and the big swelling music and all these other things that I wish that like characters I cared about more were getting. So I don't we've talked about this. Like, I think him and Buffy have a pretty solid relationship and like is one of the healthier relationships. It's just not very exciting. And I personally don't really see the chemistry there. I like that he likes cheese. I think he can have his endearing moments.
He's cute. Is he cute? He's cute.
He's cute. He's cute. I just like, it's not for me. And that's fine. I just think he's a little bland. And so we'll see where he goes.
It's so interesting because like I really do find Oz, besides the fact that he's a werewolf, bland. Like I just
he just has, well, because I think it's the way he talks that you don't like, because he does talk like very monotone, but he's always saying something funny. It's just the delivery is very monotone.
Yeah, I guess that's it, because I'm like trying to think, like, I don't know, with like Riley, I would be so much more into dating him. And I think like a part of it is that like he has like a presence to him. Like, I don't know, like I like the fact that he's like a leader. I like the fact that he's like a little bit more take charge. I think that, like, I guess like for Oz, I just feel like he's very like a little too like nonchalant, like, which I don't think that I like. Basically,
He's
I
super
think
cash.
Oz is a beta, and I don't think I want to really date like a full type B person. I don't think I like that.
Okay.
I need somebody who's like an A or an AB. You know what I mean?
Blood type we're talking about now?
No, not blood types. Yeah. Somebody that like can be an A, type A personality, and somebody who could also be a type B. Like I don't like a full type B thing.
Okay.
Anyway, I really like Riley's like development throughout the season. I think that like, yeah, we've talked about this a lot, especially in our last episode with Hannah, about how I think that his storyline could have gone a totally different way with a focus on Professor Walsh. I think that her leaving really derailed not only the entire season with the big bad, but also with his storyline, and it being like justified of him getting like front billing or big storylines, big sweeping music. So I think that is like not really Riley's fault. I just think that that's like, it's just a case of like what happened. And I thought that for me personally, having him overcome the fact that he was just like a good soldier and like that's what he was like born to do, I think like for me that's interesting. Yes, of course Buffy got there a lot sooner, but Buffy was also conditioned very differently. So overall, like that, we've talked about Riley so much, so like I don't really think that there's like a lot more to say besides the fact that like he's cute, he likes cheese, and I like him, and Jess is mad on him, and others hate him, and that is what we have to say about Riley.
Yeah. So let's finish out our characters by touching on Spike, who was really neutered this season when he got the chip implant, but it did allow for him to have really fun moments with the rest of our characters, namely Giles and Xander, because he no longer can harm them. So he's basically just a little puppy dog who has all bark and no bite. I really enjoyed Spike. We've talked about him being kind of like a sub in for Cordelia in terms of the comedic value he brings. And I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to us in the future, knowing that he still has that chip in there because Adam had, agreed to remove it. And then the deal got broken when Buffy and the rest of the Scoobies showed up at the initiative. So he's still on the board. And I think he's going to be around for the remainder of the show. Like, I just don't see them killing him off or getting rid of him in any capacity. So it'll be interesting to see, okay, is he chipped for the remainder of the show? Like, I know you feel the same way. And I'm not spoiled. I swear I'm not spoiled. It's the vibes between Buffy and Spike make it very obvious that at some point there will be a romantic thing between them.
The fact of the matter is that there's no way it's not going to happen. Like,
because when characters have as much chemistry as they do, any showrunner, any writer is going to be like, okay, and now we're going to make them kiss. Like, now it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's,
you know what I mean? It's characters. It's just like, I don't know.
They're going to get together at some point, and I'm excited to see it happen. I'm excited to see if Spike gets some sort of a redemption story, like if he is always going to be this kind of like bad boy who no longer has teeth. Like, I don't know. I'm here for it regardless, though. I think his interactions with like Giles and Xander are so funny. And also Willow. I really like the moments he has with Willow as well. So, yeah.
I really do think that we're going to see him become like an assistant watcher type of thing, just like the Dream.
Yeah.
I just think like that makes a lot of
Giles
sense.
says, I got the stuff.
I think that he's going to eventually become good on his own or something. I don't know, like, or through a lot of trial and error. I don't know. I think that like he's not going to be like evil the whole time. It's going to get like pretty lame, but this was definitely like his best season for me. I really loved him this season. I've always like liked him, but I liked him better being neutered because it was just like really funny. And also he wasn't being mean 100% of the time to all the girlfriends, which I mean, he was still pretty mean to Harmony, but maybe Harmony deserves it a little.
Yeah. Harmony. Her and Giles, stop it. It's still on my brain. It's so funny. Okay. Those are character breakdowns. Let's get into our rankings. I'm going to pull up our prior rankings because, as a reminder, we do these halfway through the season. So, Sarah, midway through this season, your character rankings were Buffy, Anya, Spike, Riley, Willow, Giles, and Xander.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, great.
Can you? Sorry.
Let's remove Oz from ours because we didn't even rank him halfway through the season and he was already gone by then. So I'm just gonna take Oz off the board for both of us. And we will be including Tara in our rankings now, though we didn't earlier because she wasn't really around at that point. Okay, so halfway through the season, your rankings were Buffy, Anya, Spike, Riley, Willow, Giles, and Xander. So Xander at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start off? You want to go bottom to top like usual?
Yeah. Giles, I have on the bottom. Man has no job, and it's really annoying me. Then I have Xander. Okay. Actually, before I say this, it is so hard to rank these characters because I genuinely like every single one of them except for Oz, but you took him off. Mm-hmm. And so it's really hard. I don't dislike any of them. I really like all of them. That's just what I want to say. Giles, and then Xander, and then Tara, and then I have Spike, Willow, Riley, Buffy, and Anya. So I feel like I'm mostly the same, except that Anya got the bump because Anya is so good. And as soon as I made those rankings last time, I was like, you know what? I think that like I ranked incorrectly. Like, I
Well,
think
because
that,
it was, if there had been one more episode, you would
yeah,
have bumped Anya up.
yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, Anya, Buffy are my two favorites, which they have been for a bit. But I really liked
Mhm.
Willow this season. I really like Spike. I think that Tara has a ton of potential. I think all of them are great. I really, really do. I think that Giles is at my bottom because, like, I don't think that it was his best season, and I think that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is not Giles' best season. And I will say, like, when I was doing this ranking, I was trying to decide if I was doing it like a stock watch where it's like people, their old stuff impacts them, or is this just this season? And I think I've landed on that this is just this season. So, like, just because one character is above another doesn't mean that I love that character
Got it.
more. It's just this season. This is how I feel about them. I
Yeah.
think is where I've landed.
My thoughts are always like, when I see this person come on screen, am I excited to see them? Like, am I excited to watch what they're
Mhm.
giving me? Is
Yeah.
how I usually do the rankings.
So midway through the season, my rankings were Anya at the top, then Willow, Spike, Buffy, Giles, Xander, and Riley at the bottom. Honestly, not a ton has changed. At the very bottom, I have Riley. Again, he's kind of boring, so I put him back down the bottom. Then Tara. I like Tara. I just need more from Tara. I don't know her well enough to put her any higher than this, personally. The next two is where I waffled back and forth. Next, I have Giles, and I put Giles below Xander because when I pinpoint the things I liked about Giles' story, it's really only those two things. It is the singing and it is the time spent with Spike. And that's not enough. Like, there needs to be more. I feel like Xander has had a better growth arc and just more going on and just more initiative in terms of getting jobs and his relationship with Anya. So after Giles is Xander. Xander is directly above Giles. Then I have Spike. I really love Spike. He cracks me up so much. And I think his storyline of getting neutered and not being able to bite the Scoobies is very fun. And I'm interested to see where that's going to go. Then I have Buffy, then Willow, and then Anya. Anya being at the tippity top because she is just the best. And when we're talking about like main characters, I liked Willow the best. I thought she had the best season. I thought her growth arc, her story arc was really, really satisfying to watch. So yeah, those are my rankings. Mostly, honestly, not a ton changed. Buffy moved up a smidge and Xander moved up a smidge. And otherwise we're pretty much in the same scenario halfway through the season. So, those are our rankings. We have to add to our villain rankings because we started, I think, last season keeping a villain rankings. I'll go first. I had, prior to Adam showing up, I had Daddy Vamps, then Drew Lulu, Angelus, the Mayor, Spike, and the Anointed One at the very bottom. And I have slotted in Adam just above the Anointed One because the Anointed One is still the worst for me. He still sucks the most. Adam is like pretty subpar. I wasn't as bothered by Adam as I think a lot of people were. Yeah, it sucked to like not have Professor Walsh continue for the remainder of the season. I feel like the rankings look a little different. If we have, maybe even my Riley ranking looks different if we have Professor Walsh the whole season, but it is what it is. I think that's where Adam's going to fall for me. What about you?
Well, first of all, I love how I've bullied you to keep Daddy Vamps on top because
yeah,
I don't.
You know what? He's earned it. He's he has he's grandfathered in.
Yeah,
he's granddaddy Vampston.
Yeah, because like I think like remember I was like I thought that we had an alliance because you like ranked him lower last time. That was so rude, but never forget. Okay, obviously Daddy Vamps is the number one villain of all time. He is such a good daddy. He is so caring of all of his children. We didn't we get to see him this season too? That was great.
Are you sure that wasn't last season?
Who the fuck knows? I don't.
I missed him regardless.
Drew Lulu next for me, then the Mayor, then I have Angelus, then I have Adam, then I have Spike. Only because I don't think Spike's a very good villain. I really don't. Like, I don't think that he's a good bad guy at all. And then I have the Anointed One.
Okay. Yeah, Anointed One sucks. We hate him.
Yeah, he is the worst. Do not like
worst.
that boy. But yeah, like Adam was Adam, like, but he doesn't suck as bad as the Anointed One, and he was a better villain than Spike is. I don't think Spike's a villain. I think that he just loves a little Achilles, and that's about it.
Yeah. As for the MVPs and LVPs, I gave my MVP to Willow. I really think she came into her own this season and she had a really incredible growth arc. I feel like college is a whole new world for her and she's really excelled beyond the prison of high school. So I put her as my MVP of the season.
Yeah, I think that that's a great take. I had Anya initially, and then throughout our discussion of Willow, I put Willow probably a smidge before Anya, only because of the growth. Once again, like seeing Anya throughout the season was a lot of fun, but if we're saying like who had the best season, who had the most growth, it's Willow.
Yeah. As for LVPs, I put Adam. I just think
Cheap, very cheap.
I personally feel, I mean, that Professor Walsh, like both, like I feel like the villain narrative was a big LVP for me because it didn't feel super satisfying. If I was picking a different character, like a more central character, I would honestly pick Riley because I think he's so boring. I just think he's so boring.
Mean.
Like,
He's so mean.
make me feel something, Riley, you know? And then
I do feel something, and never mind.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say.
Yeah. We all know, so it's fine.
It's
fine.
I put Giles here because, like, what did he even do? He made me laugh a couple times. He played a pretty song on the guitar, but he's not my shining star of the season.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, he needed more to do. Least favorite episodes, I put Beer Bad because it's truly heinous and I hated it.
It wasn't terrible.
And I put any episode that had Parker in it because I can't. I had to rewatch those episodes and I was like, fuck you, Parker.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like I mentioned Beer Bad, but like honestly, it wasn't even that bad. So I'm going to take that off. And I said like I had a harder time with Restless, but it's definitely not a bad episode. I would say my least favorite episode is Superstar. And I think it's because like it was experimental, but not in an interesting way like Hush and Restless was. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we doing this? It
was confusing. It really was.
Yeah, I really don't think that like it was. I didn't really like it. I gotta be honest with you. I don't think I really liked it that much. So I think like if I'm just gonna put one and I'm gonna just say Superstar. That's it.
Okay. On to our favorite episodes. I've listed quite a number. That's how much I love this freaking season. Hush being a really good one in terms of experimental stuff, as well as Restless. I thought both of those were so interesting and different. I also have Living Conditions because Kathy is a freaking queen.
Yeah, so fun.
Love that
episode. A fun episode. Yeah.
I also put Who Are You, which is the Freaky Friday with Faith. I thought like that was just interesting and fun and different.
Such a good episode. I forgot about that one a little bit.
And then I also had Something Blue, which now I need to Google which one that is because I'm not remembering.
That's
Something
the
Blue.
one where it was like Willow was doing the spells and she was just like, like why didn't
Buffy
you just
falls
marry
in love with Spike?
Yeah,
that one mostly because it cracked me up. Truly, that was why I put that one on there.
Yeah,
because it cracked me up. But also. There is one on your list that I did consider adding to mine.
Yeah.
Where the Wild Things Are. I love the fuck out of that episode.
Yeah,
it was stupidly unhinged.
It was very unhinged, and that makes like a very fun episode to talk about.
Yes,
we're
podcasting people.
We very well might be the only people that have put that as a favorite episode in history, but
yeah, people hate it.
It was a lot of fun. So I do have that. I do have Primeval.
I think it's Primeval, but truly who knows or cares.
I have that. It was just really well done. I think that it really elevated Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a show. It was just like really powerful, really cool. I have Something Blue as well. And then I have The Freshman just because it's an establishing episode of like our new era of college years, it was really cool. It was like fun to transition to it. I thought like the college vampires were like kind of cool. I remember
I
seeing
was
that
so
girl.
sad when they killed her off.
Yeah, I was like, she's so cool. Like, she's like really like interesting. I was like putting theories in my head, like, oh, is she like Spike's vampire child? Because like they both have platinum hair. I just like really liked that episode. So yeah, and I mean, I could really, of course, Hush is like awesome. I think that a lot of the episodes were really, really good. So I really don't have a lot to say about bad episodes. I think that they're all
Yeah.
I would literally watch this entire season again and enjoy every single moment of it.
Mhm.
Probably not
let's-
Superstar. I'll probably skip that one.
I would skip Beer Bad, but truly, like beyond Beer Bad, like even the Parker episodes, there was stuff I liked in those episodes. You know, like Parker just fucking irritated me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the predictions that we made way back in our season 3 wrap up about what we thought would happen in this season. Sarah, you made the predictions as follows: all Scoobies are at Sunnydale University somehow, including Xander. You thought Oz was going to be studying music, Buffy cop stuff, Cordy fashion, Xander communications, and Willow education or computers. I don't think we got confirmation on any like majors, which I guess we should have assumed because freshman year you generally aren't declaring a major, but yeah, and Xander also wasn't there. Oz left. They took psychology.
Yeah, this is like a bad prediction.
Yeah. Giles is a professor and Wesley is his TA.
Nope. That was funny though.
Yeah. Sorority or fraternity episode. Xander joins a frat if he's in the school. I mean,
not really.
The initiative is kind of like has the fraternity house, right?
Yeah.
Oz and Willow break up because Oz is holding on to old stuff.
Not really. They
no.
do break up. I suck.
If Faith comes back, she's gone by the end of the episode. That is true. And Buffy is the one to officially kill her.
Yeah, I said
that is
she's not dead.
True.
No.
She's not dead. She's gone. Not dead. Cordelia becomes an au pair in Switzerland and leaves Sunnydale. She does leave Sunnydale, but just for LA, which is a couple hours away.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new BF for Buffy, and he's a supernatural.
No, right.
Yeah, Chip. He has a chip. Willow harnesses her powers and becomes super powerful, but still can't bring Amy the rat back.
That seems to be true.
Can't bring Amy the rat back. Yeah, it's tough. Tough on
Not
her.
my best prediction season, but that's okay.
There's always next season.
That's the winner. And also, you made like 3 times more predictions as
I made so many. I was vibing. Listen, when I get on a roll, you can't stop me.
I don't know what you were on, but
well, let's see if any of them are even correct is the thing, because they probably aren't.
I also remember having to reorganize this because it was infuriating how you organize these predictions. It was really a stream of thought moment.
Yes, because sometimes I have ADHD and I just blurt out all my feelings onto a page.
Okay, so blurt out all of your predictions because, like, I gotta say, like, you just by the amount of them,
they're probably wrong.
No, you're probably gonna nail them more so.
Xander and Cordelia reconnect over the summer. That definitely didn't happen.
Thank God.
We meet a new love interest for Buffy in the premiere.
Yes.
That did happen.
Yep.
Ooze. Buffy fights an ooze.
You gotta get over the ooze.
A random character dies in a giant pile of ooze.
You have to get over the ooze. You have to.
Faith is the big bad of the season. No. Buffy tries, but is unable to turn Faith to the good side, and Faith dies. Half correct.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy drastically changes her hair. No, it was a lot blonder in the premiere, but Willow is the one who drastically changes her hair. Willow surprisingly joins a sorority, gets in over Cordelia, making Cordelia mad.
That would have been funny.
I know. That would have been really good. Waz ends this season. I know. I'm sad about it too.
Mm-hmm.
That is accurate. Giles and Joyce fuck again. No, but they did make eyes at each other in the last episode. Ripper backstory, please, for the love of God. Ethan returns for an episode. That happened.
Sure.
Ethan came back.
Yes. No, that happened. Yes.
Wesley and Giles are roommates. No. Giles is the college librarian. Wesley is a professor.
Yeah, we really didn't realize that Wesley was going to spin off.
No, had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that he caught the ship to Angel Land.
He went to the docks. Willow gets glasses briefly. No.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought she would.
What's the point? Okay, whatever.
Willow finally fixes Rat Amy. Unfortunately, still no. This is my best prediction. Oz finds a werewolf friend, and maybe it's a girl, and he eventually dates post Willow.
Wow.
Spot
Kinda.
Pretty
I
spot on.
mean,
Didn't date, but they fucked twice.
yeah.
Cordy is still a poor and has to hang out with the Scoobies. Well, she is a poor and angel.
She's a poor. But she has that sick apartment.
Yeah. Willow smokes weed. No, that didn't happen. Wesley and Giles have joint custody of Buffy. Xander gets a job as a postman or a cop. Unfortunately, I don't think either of those jobs are anything.
No, and you could have guessed so many jobs.
I know. I should have guessed ice cream
scored,
man.
And you guessed the two that did not. If you were like, oh yeah, like he gets a job as like a barista, would have nailed it. You know?
Yeah. No, unfortunately not. Anya shows up at college and fucks Oz.
Oh my god, why would you guess that? That's crazy.
I was right that she showed up. Buffy has a red kryptonite moment and fucks Spike.
Oh.
The whole like marry me Spike thing is similar to that.
Sure.
Fairies are introduced, but they're evil. That did not happen.
I love fairies.
So those were our predictions. I don't know. I got a couple, you got a couple. Mostly we were very wrong, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like being wrong about things.
No.
Okay. It is time, baby. Are you ready to make your predictions for season 5?
Yeah. Okay. Giles finally gets a job at the university. Thank God.
Woo!
We see him hone into his ripperness and become a badass. He decides that he wants to try and have it all and dates and maybe becomes serious with somebody, Olivia or other.
Okay. All right. I'm here for it.
Xander gets into Sunnydale University and Anya's upset that he's not paying more attention to her.
That sounds fair. Yeah.
Anya and Xander break up because Anya wants to get back into vengeance.
How dare you?
Well, yeah. Willow,
I don't think I made any Anya predictions. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make an Anya prediction.
Stop copying me. Willow and Willow and Tara progress in the relationship and move in with each other. Maybe Anya and Buffy are roomies to mirror Buffy's dream, and Anya goes to school too. Maybe.
Okay.
We find out who Buffy is making her bed for.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
Buffy and Riley break up mid-season or before. Differences in world views. It makes me sad, but it'll probably be time for Buffy because she will be more interested in a toxic relationship and whine and cry when it sucks.
Okay.
Back to Tara. See, I need to organize my thoughts as well.
Yeah. Organize your shit, Sarah.
Tara's secret is revealed, and it's not as bad as she thinks it is. Maybe Willow comes out to her family, ? Or maybe we never see her family ever again. Either Dark Willow or Dark Buffy, because we've been waiting for this. I'm saying we are dressing up in all black. We are dyeing our hair black. We are full dark mode. Yeah.
Please.
Full dark mode, full evil. And I can see it being Willow and being like very into magic shit. Like I think that like the more powerful she gets, the more likely she's going to take advantage or like abuse it. So I don't know. And do we even end the season in college? I feel like this will be our last college season.
Interesting. Yeah. That would be very quick.
I know. I won't be happy about it, but I just feel like I would be very surprised if we have more than 2 college seasons.
Okay.
Very shocked.
All right.
And that's my predictions.
All right. Here are my predictions.
Yeah.
Give me an ooze demon.
You have to fucking get over yourself.
I will never. Buffy breaks Faith out of jail because she's her only hope against whoever the big bad is.
I would love that, by the way, to just like I really was sad that we didn't have like an all-encompassing fight with like all hands on deck.
Yeah.
So it would be really cool to see Faith and Angel and Cordy and Anya and Tara and Oz and whomever, like just have everybody come to fight one big bad would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Cordy will make an appearance on Buffy.
Yeah, I think it's time.
We're seeding Buffy and Spike.
A lot of E's in that seed.
Yeah. And they kiss at least once this season.
Oh.
We're going to do a complete Tara-centric episode where we learn she used to be an evil witch.
Oh.
Please, God, fix Rat Amy.
It's never going to happen. I mean,
happen.
It could happen. It could.
Giles gets a job as a professor.
Yeah.
Tara and Willow get a third witch in their little witchy crew.
Yes.
Xander fucks things up with Anya, but only temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
Riley gets recruited to some government thing, and he leaves within the first 3 episodes.
Oh, no.
Greek life for surezies, and I'm going to say Buffy is the one who pledges. Xander starts Watcher training, I think. Someone polymorphs into an animal. This is where I start to lose it.
Is Miss Kitty
Fantastico? She's an animagus for sure.
Okay.
I'm writing that one down because I said that like a couple episodes ago. Miss Kitty Fantastico is an animagus. Okay. The big bad is someone Spike has a history with. I don't think they're a vampire, but I do think they are sort of like immortal. So like maybe we'll finally get fairies here. Anya and Spike kiss very briefly, but Anya says Xander is a better kisser, so she goes back to him.
What I don't understand is why half of your predictions this season and last is Anya kissing somebody that's not Xander when Anya is obsessed with Xander and has only showed interest in Xander.
Because I think this is going to happen as a result of Xander fucking things up with her temporarily.
Sure. Okay.
Xander family backstory episode.
Yeah.
I also think because we've had some like interesting episodes like Hush, right, where everyone's there's no speaking. I'm going to say they do an animated episode. And the way they do it is that everyone accidentally gets high.
Interesting. Okay.
And then my last prediction, which I already said, is Miss Kitty Fantastico is an animagus. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait because this means that as soon as we're done, I can watch the next episode, or at the very least, very soon.
It's been a while since we've watched an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's been like it's been like at least 2 or 3 weeks since we've watched 2.5 weeks since we've watched a new episode.
Yeah. And we're also getting back to Angel, which we don't really need to talk that much about it because our thoughts are well established.
I have nothing to say.
It was boring, okay? And hopefully season 2 is better. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. We're going to be watching it alongside season 5, so nobody panic. It's fine.
Who's panicking?
I don't know. People really like Angel, but we'll see what the crossover situation is like. But I'm really excited because next week we get to watch Buffy versus Dracula.
Oh, yeah, Dracula.
And then Angel's Judgment. I have 2 pieces of feedback to go through. We got a comment from Britt MC on YouTube, who says, ladies, I can't believe you're already done with season 4. I was waiting anxiously for the season and now it's gone. Restless is my favorite, as I said before. So of course I had to comment on this one. Here's my feedback. You both are very astute for first watch through this episode. I highly believe you'll appreciate Restless even more after watching the entire series and going back for a rewatch. No spoiler, I hope, but just remember Buffy has prophetic dreams, which we have seen in the past with the plates. She was dropping plates and stuff. I loved your theory about Tara. The writing on her back is Greek. I've read it's the Ode to Aphrodite. My favorite dream is probably Giles, even though it was the shortest. And don't worry, season 2 of Angel is better. And season 5 is the best season of Angel, in my opinion. Season 5 of Buffy is amazing as well. And so different from season 4.
Okay.
And yeah, Sarah, did you watch episode 1? Because you nailed some of the dialogue. LOL. If you know, you know. Thanks for a great podcast.
Episode 1 of,
I think Buffy. I think maybe season 5 of Buffy. Maybe she's talking about. I don't know. Maybe you made a joke of like you were doing voices. Who knows? We also got an email from Andrew, who is catching up late, if you all will remember. Apparently, I mentioned in the podcast for Pangs that I know nothing about Iowa. And as a lifelong Iowan, it is my sacred and legal obligation to rectify that. So here's some fun facts about Iowa.
Oh, this is so fun. Okay.
Number 1, Iowa farmers grow more than just corn. They also grow soybeans.
Oh, well, so like I know because I'm such a Midwestern girly that soybeans and corn are like really good friends. They like always grow next to each other.
Oh, how nice.
And then typically there's plots of four, like a square, and then it's like soybeans and then corn and then a blank space and then like maybe more corn. I don't know. And then you rotate it every year. That's like an Indiana special, but I'm sure it's an Iowa thing too. Yeah. They're good friends. They help each other's soil. Kind of like tomatoes and magnolias.
Okay. Continuing on, number 2, the Oscar-nominated Kevin Costner film Field of Dreams was set in Iowa. It was partially filmed in Minnesota, but we try not to think about that. Number 3, Herbert Hoover, the 31st president of the United States, was born in Iowa. He used to be in contention for being the worst president ever, given that his disastrous tariff policies were largely blamed for, if not causing the Great Depression, at least exacerbated it. Good news, though, I think it's safe to say he's no longer in contention. I'm laughing because if I wasn't laughing, I'd be crying.
My job is so... The amount of times that I hear the word tariffs at my job,
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, it hurts my brain. Tariffs. It's terrible. Oh, by the way, it's it's not magnolias, marigolds. I misspoke. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Number 4. Our neighbors to the north, Minnesota, may have the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, but Iowa decided to one-up Minnesota and have the quad cities of Davenport, Bettendorf, Rock Island, and Moline. I apologize if I did not pronounce those correctly.
Andrew, I've never heard of any of those.
2 of those cities are technically in Illinois, but if I hadn't said that, would you have ever known?
No. Okay. Well, that was definitely fake. That was fake.
Number 5. Iowa is not Idaho.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 6. Contrary to Jessica's guess during the podcast, there is no Iowa University. There's the University of Iowa, home of the Hawkeyes, and Iowa State University, home of the Cyclones. Yeah. Their collegiate rivalry constantly threatens to drag the entire state into bloody civil war.
Yeah, this very much sounds like Indiana, but continue.
Number 7, Iowa is the only state to be bordered by rivers along the east and west side, those being the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, respectively.
Oh.
Number 8, Captain James T. Kirk of the USS Enterprise is from Riverside, Iowa, and they hold a big Star Trek festival every year.
That's fun.
Number 9, John Wayne Gacy lived in Iowa for a while.
Oh.
Don't know if you want to claim that.
How nice.
Number 10, the capital of Iowa is Des Moines. Both S's are silent. If you pronounce either while within Iowa's borders, you will be shot.
Yes. Yeah, that tracks.
Number 11, Riley Finn's hometown of Huxley, Iowa is a real town. As far as I can tell, there's absolutely nothing of interest there. So it seems to be a fitting place to have spawned Riley Finn.
Poor Riley. He's just trying to be a Midwestern boy. He's just trying to do good.
I hope you both now feel fully educated on the great state of Iowa.
Yeah, I loved that. I love fun facts.
I love a fun fact. Incredible. That's all the feedback we have. So that's what we have to talk about for Buffy season 4. Next time you hear our voices, as a reminder, will not be next week. It will be 2 weeks from now, where you will hear us talk about the season 5 premiere of Buffy. I love a premiere. I can't wait to see the new hair. If people have had a glow up, if Giles got a job, if Xander and Anya are still together, if Riley didn't get sent back to Iowa, I can't wait.
Cool. What are your big birthday plans, Jessica?
I am going to be at my parents' camp for my birthday. And I'm gonna be vibing. I'm gonna be hanging out. I'm gonna be having good eats, some good ass bacon for breakfast. I'm excited. I'm in my 30s. I'm a low-key girly for my birthday, and I couldn't be more pumped for it.
Amazing.
Happy Leo season to all who celebrate.
Happy Leo season,
which everyone should celebrate, because your Leo friends will never let you forget it.
I don't know if I would celebrate it. I fear it.
You should. Yeah, that's the right thing.
Yeah, what I do.
Yeah,
and then we go into some safe times of Virgo
season. And Virgo season is a very low key season. The Virgos going back to school.
We trust them. Yeah,
and Virgos we trust.
All right. Yeah. Well, anything else, Jessica?
I think that's it.
All right, that's it.
All right, so we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about the season 5 premiere of Buffy. Until then, everyone, here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.